people come out to help and support the campaign. So thank you for doing that. Thank you. You know, I was born in Durham, so this isn't far away at all. Actually, my wife and I met at North Carolina State University. I was an engineer there. All right! We got the Wolfpacks that are here. And so, would you come here for a second? It's my bride. 34 years, that's right. We had our anniversary on Saturday.
Happy anniversary.
Her ask was for 34 minutes of not campaigning.
1 minute for every year.
So we went to a restaurant, right? And while I was looking down, my beautiful got up and touched every person in that restaurant with a palm card. So she hasn't hit the 34-minute mark yet. I behaved myself, but she didn't do quite as good. We've been all over the state of North Carolina. We've been telling people about our campaign. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from you, and I appreciate it. Let me tell you why. And let me tell you why it's important to you. One is, the Secretary of State's office has not gotten a lot of attention before because it has not worked for you.
Amen.
See, this office does two major important things that you should care a lot about. The first thing it does is it regulates businesses.
Yes, sir.
Right? It controls the activity that goes on. When you file to have a new company, it controls it. All that business activity and legislative activity that needs to go on to file papers is done through this office. When you have to get a license to operate a business, it's done through the Secretary of State's office, right? There are 87 different licenses if you have to, for North Carolina. One of those is like a lobbyist that's here. It does a few other important things though in that office, and it tells a lot about the incumbent that's there. She's a Democrat. She's been there for 24 years. A third of her life. The definition of a career politician.
Amen.
And our values are different. See, I stand for rule of law, like you stand for the rule of law, right? And she doesn't. And one of the reasons I know she doesn't is because this office is responsible for commissioning notaries. And she has commissioned hundreds of illegal aliens as notaries. And that's important to you, not only for when you got to go fill out some papers, some legal documents, but do you know that your absentee ballots are notarized, and that person that notarizes them is not legal? I have concerns over the legitimacy of our voter integrity system.
Amen. Amen.
We got to get that fixed. There's one other way she showed her values. When I was standing with President Trump, celebrating the sanctity of life in January,
Thank you.
she was in Chapel Hill getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from Planned Parenthood. People, we got to make some changes.
Amen.
Right? There are 3 Democrats in the Council of State, and this is one of them. And this is the most liberal one we have in that group.
Yes.
And it's going to take you to help me to make that change. And because you're here today, I know you're committed for that to be true.
Yes, sir.
So thank you. Thank you for coming out. Look, the important part about this office is it regulates business, and the other important role it has is economic growth. It drives job creation. If we want our jobs to continue to grow here, if we want to continue to have economic prosperity here, this is the office that you need to focus on. This office is important because how it controls businesses, and it's important because it continues to drive jobs that's here.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that considering that's what this job does, that you need a business leader in this role, not a politician.
Yes, sir.
Some people call me an outsider, because I've never ran before. You see, I have got a chance to lead businesses. I ran a small manufacturing company in Youngsville. A lot of you know where that is.
Yes, sir.
Right? It was one of the fastest growing companies in North Carolina for 2 years in a row. I've been CEO of 2 other technology companies, and I was a group president of a Fortune 500. It was $28 billion, and our General Assembly fund is $24 billion. All I've done till this point is run businesses. Have not run for office. This is new for me, it's new for our wife. But you want an outsider, and this outsider is willing to take that business experience to Raleigh to fight for you.
Amen. Yes, sir.
And I'm running for Secretary of State because of my business experience, but that's not why I'm running. See, I was born in North Carolina, and my parents were born here, and their parents were born here.
Amen.
And my character was formed by North Carolina values. I know what it's like to be a North Carolinian because I was shaped and formed by the people like you here. And those values for me are traditional biblical values. I was blessed to be raised in a Christian home. Those values are important to me. Whenever I cross the state, I tell people that I have belief in Jesus Christ. And it's those values that have made our nation great, they've made our state great. And if you look at the preamble of our Constitution of North Carolina, you'll see that it even acknowledges Almighty God in that as well. Those values are the values that are important for us to continue to grow and have success here. But there's people now that are attacking our values.
Yes.
They seem to have a great level of confusion, right?
Yes.
They don't understand what's made us great. They don't understand the difference between a boy and a girl.
Bless their hearts.
They don't understand that the guy who wins, the girl who wins the race shouldn't have a beard. And I don't believe that a 6-year-old pointing their finger ought to have the police called on.
Right.
We've gone crazy. Look, it's common sense values that we need here, and we need to return to those values. I'm running because I want to fight for your values. I think they're important. I think they're more important than any other business I could run. I want to be able to take the business experience I've had and take it to North Carolina's Secretary of State's office, because that's where to help the people in North Carolina the best. Now, I met Senator Ted Cruz in 2015. We had a Supreme Court, 9 justices, 5 of them, overruled the votes of millions of Americans when they made a decision on the definition of marriage. And I got upset about both, but I particularly got upset because activist judges are beginning to take control of our country as opposed to the legislative process like our Constitution has it defined.
Yes.
And I didn't know how to fix it, but I swore at that time that this one man was going to do all that he could do to fight for our values. And at that point, I joined Ted Cruz's campaign.
Yes, sir.
And I got to know the man because I walked beside the man. And I worked for him in that presidential campaign for about a year. And at that, I got to know him well. So when I went to go run for office, he heard about it, and I asked for some help. And you know, a U.S. senator gave me 2 days of his life
Bless him.
to help me with this campaign. Bless beyond measure. So it's my great honor to introduce to you U.S. Senator, my friend, Ted Cruz.